Good evening, y'all. My name is Mad. I am so happy to be back. We are here tonight for the Women of Color Initiative Soul Serenade. Yes. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. And also, we are celebrating the mothers of the movement. Let's get it. Go, little dog. Yes, 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 yes. Superstar. I hope you guys are having a great time at home. Yes, we are. Woo! All right, y'all, let's take it away to the next performer. Woo! Woo!
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tamika Atkins, and I'm the convener of the Women of Color Initiative and the Executive Director of Pro Georgia. On behalf of myself and the Women of Color Initiative, and frankly, the state of Georgia, I want to give a huge thank you to the mothers who have made sacrifices this past year and a half, to those who are primary caregivers, to all those with mothering responsibilities, juggling home, juggling work, while also raising and loving on these children, these nieces and nephews, these grandchildren. For all those who have held this responsibility with grace, with compassion, and with patience, I say to you, thank you. The past year and a half We've had to mother in ways we couldn't have anticipated. Some of us are working from home while our children are on virtual school. Some of us are essential workers who have our children learning virtually and remotely from the car or from the homes of family members. We have all spent more time than we ever anticipated with our children. And while it has been such a blessing, it has also been a little tiring. And so we want you all to see this moment as mothers to rest, relax. Let our host, Anana Harris-Paris, and our resident artist, Iman Jordan, serenade all of you mothers of the movement. Enjoy.
We celebrate all of the mothers who have moved our spirits and stirred our souls. Here are a few who have personified the power of prayer, unrelenting love, and the healing essence of spirituality.
Greetings and love to all. Thank you to Women of Color Initiative.
Hello. Hi, everybody. How are you? From one mother to other mothers, to those who love mamas, I just want to welcome you all to Soul Serenade. And today, for this Soul Serenade, we are going to celebrate, honor, warm the souls up, talk about, uplift, and just be here for mothers who are in movement work, right? I want to thank you to Mika Atkins for that wonderful welcome. And of course, Iman, thank you for kind of laying the land for just a few of the faces of moms who we want to celebrate. And can we give it up in our own way? I know this is virtual, but you can still send some energy because we all need it, to Mad. She did a wonderful job kind of setting the tone. Can we just type a little something in the Zoom chat area? Can you give a shout out to Mad? Just say, hey. Oh, woohoo. Yes, I like that. It is so important that we remember, even though we're virtual, we can still send some good energy to each other. So for this Soul Serenade, for our souls to be engaged, we're going to ask that you please communicate with us in the chat. Let me tell you, it gets lonely on Zoom, even when you have other people there. So please help us with this loneliness, because we don't want you to feel lonely either, because that's why we all are here. Every single person that is going to share with you today, either their artistry, their thoughts, their comments, their words, they're here because of the title of today's event. And we all know that even though Mother's Day is coming up, we know that mothers in movement work, typically, as the wonderful and powerful Sandra Barnhill kind of graced us with this mindset before coming on, and this prayer almost, mothers in movement work rarely get talked about, recognized, and that is exactly what we're doing today. So one more time, I want you to go to the chat, and if you are chiming in anywhere else, I want you to also give a shout out to yourself. You could just type yay me, yay my mama, yay my cousin's mama, yay whoever's mama. I want you to acknowledge them, either say your name in the chat or somebody else's name that is a mother in movement work that you know needs to be acknowledged. I'm just gonna say their name really quickly. Natalie says, yay us. Iman says, yay my mama. Daisha says, yay me and all the mamas. All right, let me see, who else? Yay Jean. Jordan, yes. Jane Sapp, yay. I'm calling the names. Yes, Vanessa Garrett. Come on, y'all. Drop those mama names in there so that we can say, hey, Jacqueline Israel, Ayana Smith. Come on, bring them, bring them. Neffy, yes, Neffy. Who else? Martha Graff. Okay, come on. Stella Milano, Addie. Do y'all see what's happening right here? Gigi Pedraza, yes. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing these wrong. Yay to Asada and all movement mothers behind bars, Ashe. Reverend Martha Jordan, my mama, Lisa Riverett. We are recording, you understand? This is an audio and video recording, and so these names are being recorded. So you just keep, my mama, Lisa Riverett, okay? Reverend, I hope I'm saying these names correctly. Y'all can give me the phonetic spelling typed out if you like. We want to keep saying their names. Michelle Zalauga is the only valiant one in so far. Yes, Michelle. Hi, Michelle, our valiant warrior. We are celebrating today. Francesca Turner, Shayna Cathouse, excuse me. I hope I am not going to make anybody cry over these pronunciations. Forgive me. Okay, let me just tell you all, oh, we got a big mama shout out, just flat out big mama, okay? I am really, really, really honored to be not only hosting, but sharing with you all today. And I'm also going to be sharing with a very, very powerful lady. And I'm going to introduce her a little bit later. But first, I want to chat with Iman. Iman, can you unmute, please, my brother?
Hello, hello. What's up, Nana? How you doing?
Good. Iman, you know, yesterday was my son's birthday and every day his birthday comes, the day before I post, at this point, I'm still in labor. At this point when he was born, I was still in labor. I post my labor birthday before his actual birthday because I want to like give myself a shout out for how many hours of labor I was in.
Yeah, let him know. Let him know. I don't know how long my mom was. I think she was in like a whole day too. So give a shout out just to that.
Mama Jordan, you can drop that in the chat because I'm with us. Now, real quick, I want to acknowledge the valiant women of the Vote awardees. Yes. The Women of Color Initiative acknowledged several powerful women of color who are involved in not just turning Georgia blue, but even before these most recent elections, these women had a hand in just making other mothers and women and just our community feel stronger. And so we want to acknowledge Yvonne Joseph and Michelle Zalauga. Please forgive me, Michelle, but I definitely want to hear from you later so that we can get your thoughts on just being a mother in movement as well, or other mothers. We want to know what you think, and congratulations. I know that movement work, especially when it comes to voting rights, can be very, very, I don't know, it can beat you down a little bit sometimes. You have to have a special place in your heart to keep pushing on that, Michelle. But can you unmute for just 1 second, because I cannot move forward if I have not pronounced your name correctly, ma'am.
No problem. My last name is actually pronounced Zuluaga, just how it's spelled, Zuluaga. Yeah.
Zuluaga, thank you. How are you doing? Congratulations.
Thank you so much. You know, I have such an honor to work with so many mothers myself. I am not a mother myself, but I do have the pleasure to work with so many and collaborate with so many with our GOTV work and civic participation work.
Oh, well, awesome. And for all of your efforts, we really do appreciate you and hope that you know that it is sincerely from the Women of Color Initiative. It is our pleasure and our honor to recognize you for your work. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So I'm gonna call on you again a little bit later, Michelle. So hang in there with us, please. Iman, I would love for you to tell me a little bit about this beautiful artist, Deja, that we have with us. Deja, can you come on camera for us? Because Iman is just gonna lay down the red carpet.
Well, first of all, Deja is a beautiful spirit who is not only an amazing singer and vocalist, but also an amazing healer through music, and she uses her music to do a lot of sound baths and things that really kind of bring out, I guess, the true essence of people and make them feel good, and also, you know, me more relaxed when they go through their day, and just from that spiritual perspective. She might see if she can jump on, but she's what she does for us is
Yes.
she says, "Hey, Deja, what's up?"
Hi. Hi.
This the performance, Oh, and she's in outer space. See, this is amazing.
That's
Um,
where you will find me amongst
yeah,
the stars. Amongst the
yeah.
stars.
Tell us about what the two pieces you perform in this next segment. And there's some chants and just kind of where they're from. Just give us a little history about that real quickly.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Anana, for being such a beautiful host. Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone here. Thank you for this wonderful, wonderful opportunity to bless mothers. And so, in my Kundalini practice, I am a Kundalini yoga teacher. I've been practicing for over 10 years, and it's been a most transformative experience for me. And it has allowed me to be the best mother that I can be, and woman, and just everything that I am. And so these chants have been a big part of my practice. They have been integral to my growth and development and my healing, my self forgiveness, my self love, my self confidence. They are in an ancient tongue, if you will, or language called Gurmukh. And essentially, they're two different mantras. And the Sat City City Akal, that is one for victory and courage, for caliber. It's where we're calling on those essences that, and connecting us to the source of our being and welcoming in victory and courage. And so I thought that that was so fitting for mothers, because there's so many um, there's so many battles and so many triumphs, right? Uh, that we experience with ourselves, and then we have our children that are reflecting these things in us that also need more love and more attention and more light. And so I wanted to bless mothers and encourage mothers to see themselves victoriously, see yourself courageously, see yourself of character.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. And we're gonna go into it right now. And I'm sure you all are gonna love it because when we were there all in the room listening to you, I mean, we just like we were in awe and we were in. So, what a beautiful gift, and thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Deja. All right. We're ready, Iman?
Let's do it. We celebrate all of the mothers who have moved our spirits and stirred our souls. Here are a few who have personified the power of prayer, unrelenting love, and the healing essence of spirituality.
Greetings and love to all. Thank you to Women of Color Initiative for this very special invitation for the Mothers Movement. Thank you for having me. Blessings and prosperity to all mothers. Happy Mother's Day to all. Wishing you love, more life, more light, more joy. My name is Deja Gomez, and I would love to share a blessing with all of the mothers of the movement, all of the women who have contributed to expanding, right, our future generations, and all of those who mother whether you've had your own children or you are just a mother at heart. I want to bless you. And in my Kundalini practice, we have mantras that we chant and that we sing, and that is a mind wave, a mind vehicle. And so I'd love to create this space for us as mothers to encourage caliber, to bless us to have more courage and victory. And as we're raising our children in this time, this is a mantra to overcome negativity and to welcome the courage and the victory that we need. And so tune in with me, and you're welcome to sing along or hum along. And as you are listening, I want you to close your eyes and just breathe in. Breathe in through your nose and fill up your lungs, feel them expand with air. And I want you to visualize yourself as courageous as you can possibly imagine. I want you to visualize yourself victorious with caliber and character. And as we affirm that we are timeless and deathless, and as mothers, that's what we do. We extend lives. We create future generations. And so we do become timeless. We do become deathless. That is our true nature. Sat Siri Siri Ko Siri Ko Mahako Mahako Satana Ko Murero Ahe Guru Sat Siri Siri Ko Siri Ko Mahako Mahako Satana Ko Murero Ahe Guru. And what we're saying is we're true, great and deathless beings beyond death. Truth is that name, that deathless form of our Creator. Experience of the divine. That's what we are as mothers. Sat Siri Siri Ka. Sat Siri Siri Ka. Sat Siri Siri Ka. Sat Siri Siri Ka. And so I bless all of you mothers. May you develop more courage, deepen your character and caliber, and become victorious right here and right now. See that for yourself, and see that for your children. Sat Siri Siri Ka. Sat Siri Siri Ka. Siri Ka. Mahako Mahako Satana Ko Murero Ahe Guru. Satnam. Whatever image you have in your mind right now, I want you to believe it. Believe it for yourself. Believe that it's very possible for you to be victorious, for you to be courageous, and to eliminate the negativity around you. Just embody that truth. The Mul mantra is the root mantra of all mantras in the Kundalini practice. And this mantra contains the core essential truth of creation. And it says that its vibration is so powerful that you can change your fate or rewrite your destiny. And so for mothers, wherever you are in your journey as a mother, you can visualize what that courageous version of you, what that victorious version of you looks like. Ekam Khat Satinam Karta Purik Nirbo Nirven Akamuren Ajuni Sebang Guru Prasad Jap At such Chukat such Hebi such Nanaka Hosi Peace. Ekam Khat Satinam Karta Purik Nirbo Nirven Akamure Ajuni Sebang Guru Prasad Jap At such Jugat such Hebi such Nanaka Hosi be said. One creator, truth is its name, doer of everything, fearless, revengeless, undying, unborn, self-illumined, the Guru's gift. Children are our gift. And we are the Guru, our own Guru, the ones who bring us from darkness to light. True in the beginning, we are true through all the ages. True even now, oh Nanak, it is forever true, forever true. Blessings.
That was absolutely amazing. Your voice was beautiful. Can you please come on screen for us for a second?
Yes, yes, yes. I'm having a moment, um,
Yeah.
and it's opportunities like these that present, the stages for me to show up in the way that I'm so confident my soul is here to do and to be and to show up as. And I spent a lot of time healing myself, and so I do amaze the how willing I am to be used amazes me, and I'm so grateful.
We are grateful. Iman, I know that you are not only familiar with, but you've been blessed by hearing Deja's work more than we have. I'm still soaking it in right now, Deja, because the vibrations did something to me. So Iman, would you mind sharing a little bit with Deja while this mother kind of enjoys and soaks it in a little bit more?
Well, also, I mean, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk to Daisha too. But Deja, we have a Daisha and Deja. But you are a mom and a mom of two, right?
Yes.
You have an 18-year-old and also which I couldn't believe, 13-year-old. Um,
18 and 13.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, you know how it is like being a busy mom, having to do so many things, stretch thin, but also having to show up and do stuff like this and deliver a good message and something inspiring so people can walk away feeling a lot better. So
And to
you're
encourage
beautiful.
mothers, like to encourage mothers, to support mothers. We need that too. We give so much, we pour so much into our children, creating a life for ourselves. And then, we have those moments where we need our time to ourselves. We need to be with ourselves. We need to explore ourselves and then learn how to share that with our children. And so this opportunity to bless mothers is truly a blessing to me. And I enjoy sharing these moments with my children and letting them know what's important to me.
Yeah, beautiful. I love it. Well, thank you so much for your offering, and I'm sure we're gonna hang out more because we live in LA together. Maybe
Yes,
shows and
please, please, play date, play date.
like that. Let's do it. Let's do it. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for this opportunity to just be heard, to be seen, to be felt, to be used, and to be of
Yeah,
service. Thank you.
beautiful. Thank you. All right. All right, Anana, what's
Yeah,
up?
I know. You know what's up. You know what's coming on. Well, we are lucky enough to have multiple performers to really serenade your souls. And just to remind everybody, this is 100% catered to you. This is about you, not only as a mother in movement work, but being people who love mothers in movement work. We want to learn more about what can best support mothers in movement work. Even if we are a mother ourselves, sometimes we get caught in our own world, our own bubble of to-do list items and how can I move in a better way for my children? How can I be more available in my community? What do I need to refine? And when can I get some sleep? Okay, Ashe, right? All of those things are going through our minds on a regular basis. Sometimes we forget to hone in on what that soft spot in the center is for another mother, right? So we have our friends and our family, and we have people that we're familiar with, but in movement work, there are times where we can be so forward moving in what we're doing that we forget that another mother is in front of us. So we want to make sure that we arm each other with some more tools that allow us to really serenade each other's souls, even in the moment, while still moving forward our community and our people. So that is just a gentle reminder. Iman,
What's up?
we have another Deja, right?
Yeah.
Deja is next. Can you tell us a little bit
Feel
about
like you about to shout.
graph? Like Deja. Can you tell us a little bit about Deja? Hi, Deja. How are you, gorgeous?
Well, I've known Daisha for a while, and back in New York, and she is a artist in many different ways. She's not only a dancer, but a singer, performer, actress. So she does all types of things, and one of the things I've seen her perform on stage many times, and which really blew my mind was when used to perform with Santi Gold, which is one of my favorite artists as well. So I was really happy that you were able to join the party and stuff. So I wanted to kind of tee up what your piece is going to be about. You did a piece to the Amanda Gorman poem, "The Hills We Climb." Tell me a little bit about that. Why did you pick that piece to dance to?
It was interesting. I was thinking of what I could dance to. I was thinking of music. And then for some reason, her poem just popped in my mind because I feel like it was one of the highlights of forever, honestly. It was I feel like it was one of those moments that stole the hearts of the world. And coming from this like super uber talented Black woman, she's so young and has so much potential and gave hope to the whole nation and the world through her words. And so I was like, that poem kept popping in my head, and I thought, well, maybe I can find something with music under it, and I can just breathe life into it with movement.
Beautiful. And you did. You breathed life into it for sure. Another thing I wanted to say is that I don't know if your mom got to jump on here as well.
On here.
She didn't make it. Okay, but I know she is here. Okay, well, happy Mother's Day to you, Mrs. Graff. I think other people don't know also is that you're a dancer performer, but also your sister is as well. She's also a ballet dancer who is also very, very amazing. So your mom did really good. She she raised two, really, really talented, beautiful daughters.
We have two brothers too. So.
And two brothers. I didn't even know you had brothers. See, that's crazy. The whole family. That's crazy. All right, cool. Well, let's go to the piece then. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We honor all of the mothers in the world who have committed their lives to social justice, economic equality, and political reform. Here are a few mothers who have devoted their blood, sweat, and tears to advancing the greater good of our communities and societies.
When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace. And the norms and notions of what just isn't always just is. And yet the dawn is hours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny Black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first. We must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew. That even as we hurt, we hoped. That even as we tired, we tried. That we'll forever be tied together, victorious. Not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left with. Every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the west. We will rise from the wind-swept northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked south. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade of flame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light if only we're brave enough to see it. If only we're brave enough to be it.
Amazing. Amazing. Daisha. Listen, I'm going to let the comments pour in because we have to, even on Zoom, give space for people to process and respond. I see applause. Wow. Energy. Go, girl. Wow. Absolutely. Yes. Wow, 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 wow. Ashe, feeling it. Wow.
Thank you.
Let them keep coming, please. Iman, unmute.
I love
Daisha.
words. That was so cool.
Yeah. Can you please share with us a little bit? And Iman, I know, again, you're a little bit more intimately involved. This is my first time experiencing dance. It's one of my first loves, okay? Yeah. And so thank you for bringing that art form to Zoom, to a virtual event, because it is important that we find a way to do that. Tell us a little bit about how you feel watching it. Like, how do you feel seeing your work?
I feel, honestly, I'm excited, and it was, I'm proud. I'm proud of the work, and I'm proud of the work of everyone, of all the women, of all of us making it through this crazy year and crazy times, but like doing it so gracefully and providing hope for people. And I don't know, it feels really good. I feel really grateful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, first of all, I've always been a fan of you dancing because I mean, you've always been a badass, like crazy good, so good, and and to see that, it just warms my heart, and like it really and you know, we did it also too in this alley that is near my house, where it's actually called Indian Alley for it's Native Americans. It's like the murals were there, so it was just a whole enriching experience from visually to everything that was involved, and I'm just happy that you're a part of it.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I'm just happy to be here. So
All
great.
right. All right, especially with the Frida and the Grace Jones in the background.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
happy they came too.
they give me power.
All right, cool. I think so. I think the next one, we're going to go to the next performance. Anana, why don't you jump on? Let me know what's the next. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what we're gonna do. So the next performer, right? Are we doing that? Is that where we're going with it? Okay, I want to make sure. Okay, so hi. So we're gonna. The next performer is going to be Natalie. Is that where we're going or no?
Well, I would like to first
Okay.
slide in a little bit of a discussion about mothers in movement work. Would that be okay? Is that all right?
Is that all right? That's all
So,
right.
is that all right, Yvonne?
Yeah, do it.
Now, the dancer and the artist in me would love to see more performances. What I want to do is take a little bit of the energy that Deja and Deisha, come on, give me my props, that both of those wonderful artists kind of lifted up for us, as well as Mad, because having us serenade each other is a wonderful salve and ointment for us really having a discussion about mothers in movement work. So if Maria can bring her beautiful face on screen and unmute, I would love to chat with you before I share my screen, if that's okay. Maria, hi.
Hello.
Go ahead, what were you gonna say?
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad you agreed to come, because I think that it's not necessarily a fun topic to feel like we have to re-educate people on something that we would ideally like to not have to spell out, right? Motherhood has been in existence since, I don't know, humanity, right? Let's kind of go with that. And it can be a topic that many can feel exacerbated to talk about. I know some people who don't have great Mother's Days, right? They do not really enjoy the buildup of it, and they also don't enjoy the decline after it. So one of the reasons that we're here today, Maria, is to take the helm and really, in the spirit of our original conversation, share a little bit and then walk some of our attendees through what we see as some wonderful, not only acknowledgements regarding what mothers in movement work are faced with, but then also some strategies on how we see moving forward. So without further ado, I would love to share my screen. But first, Maria, before I do that, why did you even agree to do this topic? Why did you want to share, and why do you think it's important that multiple ethnicities of women begin to have this conversation about motherhood?
That's a great question. Well, I want to come into this space, just one, acknowledging a little bit about myself and also the land that I'm on. So my name is Maria de Rosario. It's my first name, and my last name is Palacios. I use she, they pronouns, ella, ella pronouns. And I think it's always good to acknowledge that I reside in Gwinnett County. I'm in what is most likely Muskogee territory. And I was born in Nahua and Purepecha territory in Mexico. And so today's discussion is actually very, very deep for me. And this is the first time that I publicly speak, especially virtually, to a group that's larger than 5 around motherhood. And to be quite honest, the fact that this is the first time in the many years of public speaking, in the 9 years of public speaking that I've had, is the reason I wanted to do it. Because motherhood seems to have to be sometimes an invisible trait in movement work in order to try to emulate the patriarchal settings that we exist in constantly. And I think that this discussion was going to be profound and deep in so many ways. And so anyways, I appreciate you inviting me, and that's why I'm here.
Aww. Well, I tell you, I was again excited after our first conversation. So if you want to give a shout out to Maria or the topic or anything, it is so important that throughout this presentation, this is not a one-sided experience, right, Maria? We really want you to share some comments, and then at the end, we're gonna have a Q&A. Let me share my screen. Okay. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Just need a drum roll. If anybody wants to offer the drum roll, I would love to hear it. Here we are. All right. So let me pull up the slideshow view from the beginning. Hi, everybody. Hi. Welcome to Mothers Movement Work, a presentation brought to you by Soul Serenade, the Women of Color Initiative, sponsored by Pro Georgia. My name is Anana Harris, and I am joined by the beautiful Maria, and we are ready to have this wonderful discussion with you. We want you to take notes and share in the chat area some of your thoughts. This particular Soul Serenade is not only focused on mothers and movement work, but mothers, you are leaders. And even by showing up to this discussion, to open yourself up, not only to be serenaded, but to 100% see yourself as a leader is the reason that we are having this today. We know you're not just a mother raising your children and raising, as they say, our future, but you're also influencing policy and shaping the quality of life in our communities. You know, mothers nurture the souls of our communities, and the leaders who call out for their mothers on their darkest nights need to know that you are well. So you're not just a mother, you're a leader, you have impact, and you impact other leaders. So it's not just about being in movement work, we need you well. Would that be fair to say, Maria?
Yes, 100%.
So just a gentle reminder, please share your thoughts in the chat because we want to hear them throughout the presentation. I'm going to take a peek right now. Yes, Maria and Anana, mothers nurture our souls. Yes. What are we as a community if we do not have a soul, right? What are we doing? Well, I have already had the pleasure of hearing Maria share a little bit about herself, but can you tell us a little bit about some of the work that you do?
Yes, definitely. I love to. So as many of you know, I helped found Georgia Familias Unidas, and it is a collective aid organization that came out in need of the pandemic. We've operated in a handful of different counties in the state of Georgia, but we're headquartered out of Hall County, the poultry capital of the world. And we did so in response to the hotspot, the disproportionate impact of, big surprise, Black and brown folks in Gainesville, Georgia. Gainesville is predominantly people of color. It's over 55% folks of color, of which 41% are Latinx. And so we saw a huge need. We were really pushed into providing collective aid. And especially around the poultry plants, you know, a lot of folks in movement work actually didn't know that my first job out of high school was in a poultry plant. And I worked there for a couple years as an undocumented immigrant. I was able to adjust my status. I came back to the US and worked again at the same poultry plant until I then went on to Smithfield in pork industry. And I actually worked in there and moved into management before returning to school as a non-traditional student, as a mother, a single mother at that. And so my journey has actually been much, much longer than I think some folks realize. But for me, it was a weaving of my past and my present to start organizing with poultry plant workers who are mostly undocumented. And so we've been doing a lot of work. We've done like 5 campaigns in 9 months. One of which was a tragedy response to a nitrogen leak that took the lives of 6 of our folks. And so we just hit the 3-month mark of that, and we're proud to say that we've helped over 247 families with financial assistance through the help of amazing organizations like the Latino Community Fund, Hispanic Federation, LACLA, so many organizations who have backed us, over 30 organizations who have helped us out both statewide and nationally. And so we're doing some big stuff here and there, including just yesterday, we met with our first Black US Senator from the state of Georgia, Raphael Warnock. And it was honestly an honor to share with him what we've been doing and to ask him a few little small things. So it's been exciting work.
Maria, that's amazing. And I use that word on purpose because you're not just the head of this organization. You're not just walking around talking to newly elected officials, but you're also a mother. So we are going to get a little bit deeper into a little bit more about your thoughts about motherhood, but I wanted to ask you about this particular quote that you had shared. I want you to tell me a little bit about how that plays into your role, not just of organization, but your role as a mother. It says, you know, failure hurts. Any kind of failure stings. If you live in the sting, you will undoubtedly fail. My way of getting past the sting is to say no. I'm just not going to let this get me down. Sonia Sotomayor.
Thank you. Yes, so, you know, SCOTUS Sonia Sotomayor is an inspiration. And I think she's an inspiration to so many Latinas across the world. And, you know, that quote I've actually used often, and I've used it because I think undoubtedly we're so hard on ourselves. And we know, we know that our need or our push for perfection has been something that's kind of been conditioned in society, and it's tied really closely to white supremacy, right? The asking of impossible standards, of perfection standards. And so, you know, undoubtedly there's been many moments of failure in my own life where I felt that I had just completely failed. And I was lucky to have matriarchs that were just amazing growing up and throughout my whole life. And my sister, my older sister, who's just 3 years older than me, she actually took guardianship of me at the end of my teenage years. And she would always tell me when I was down and I thought the world was over, she would say, hold up, no te dejes caer. Don't let yourself fall. Levántate ahorita because it's easier right now. Like stand up right now because it's easier. Like don't let yourself go, you know, in the fall. And so Sonia Sotomayor says it beautifully as well. And it's about like not giving into those moments. And it's okay if you do, right? You can still get out. But I promise you, at that moment that you realize that you're in, it's much easier to get out than it is if you stay in that sting.
In that sting.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, let me tell you how often the word failure has swum through my mind as a mother in movement work myself. So when I saw this, I had to ask you just how that rings for you. So I know that as we all are watching this, I could, and Maria could, we could just talk at the audience, the listeners. This is also being recorded. We could just do that, but we really want to have a very raw and honest and kind of soul touching conversation about being a mother in movement work. And that word failure, when you're surrounded by an environment where everyone is telling you that you were born into a race or an ethnicity that is inherently in their mind in this really oppressive infrastructures layout, that it is a failure, that your life in itself signifies a failure. As a mother, if that has been embedded, it really is amazing, the same word. it is amazing for you, Maria, to even get to where you are as the executive director of the Georgia Familias Unidas. And so I'm just over thanking you 8 million times for stepping into this role today.
Thank you. It has been quite a journey, for sure. And I think that we don't ever, I think especially as a mom, like, when do you have time to start thinking about how far you've come and to remember how strong you are, because otherwise you wouldn't be here. I don't think we do that enough. As mothers, I just really think that there's an expectation on us that we are not even human, to be able to succeed at machine rates that not even machines themselves could succeed. But I won't go into a rant on that. I know we have plenty of things to talk about.
Yeah, right. And just remember, we really do care about your comments in the chat. Ree Den says, that's so true. Okay. I'm here representing not just being a woman of color thought leader. I'm also not only an author and the founder of the Self-Care Agency, but I'm the founder of the Sister Care Alliance. And as an individual activist, I've been doing activist work for many years in the movement. But I also launched the Sister Care Alliance, and as an organization, we promote self-care as a form of social justice and social justice as a form of self-care. We do a lot of above ground and underground work. We work in coalition with other organizations. We establish official self-care days, and we establish chapters throughout to make sure that we're uplifting other women leaders, not just in their existing social justice work, but also in promoting and teaching the framework of strategic self-care for them as women. And it has been an honor to work with the sisters that I work with in the Sister Care Alliance. We were able to go down to Puerto Rico to bond and do some additional training with our Puerto Rico chapter. And it was just a blessing to be a part of the diaspora of the overlapping and the intertwining of ethnicities, and see how similar all of our journeys and battles are in these really aggressive, and as you say, Maria, machine formatted structures that we're supposed to be operating in. So as an organization, we not only establish official self-care days and try to politicize this idea of taking care of ourselves as revolutionary, we also, through coalition work, teach and train and participate in as much work as we can while still promoting the revolutionary impact of taking good care of yourself as an activist. One of our joys is working with the Women of Color Initiative, which you can see. It's just a broad network, and these are a lot of the women of color thought leaders. Hello, hello to all of our women of color thought leaders that are there. We teach the strategic self-care framework to survivors of human trafficking, survivors of domestic violence, and then the everyday woman that is falling apart and covering it up. So that is what we do. But as we get into this discussion, before we are mothers, we are children. Yes, yes. I am really into feedback, so I'm constantly looking at the chat. If you see this little brown face down here, this is me. This is me at Watoto Shule in Washington, D.C. This is my big sister, Melissa, who's also a mother. And I just wanted to share this picture because it is so important. Thank you all for the feedback. Michelle, Deja, Regina, thank you so much for the feedback in the chat. It is so important that we see that before we are mothers, we were children. And that little child on the inside looked at a lot of things, right, Maria? And feel free to chime in, because when you start looking at pictures of us as children, you start to forget, because we are forced to grow up so fast in so many scenarios, when you are looked at in a family setting as needing to be the responsible one. If this is ringing true for anybody, please throw it up in the chat, tell your story, share a little bit about you, because it could help someone else. But before we are mothers, we are children. And when you think about being a child that is being shaped to be a mother by society, right? Whether you want to or not, there is always this assumption that you need to learn certain skills. When Maria and I got together, Maria brought up just some really beautiful examples of these unspoken job descriptions that are assigned to children who then become mothers. If you have ever had to be a part of an unspoken job description that nobody formally handed to you, nobody prepared you for, there was no training, it was just get it done, then please drop a that would be me in the chat. And I'm looking, that would be me. So Maria, can you share a little bit about this idea of the unspoken job description as children and then also as mothers? Because I've added a few of some of your keynotes that we shared.
Definitely. You know, so in my household growing up, I'm the third child. I was raised by my mother. I'm the three of five, then eventually six. She adopted my cousin when I was already a mother. But growing up, I was the very first in our family to have came to the US before I could even learn to speak, right? So English was my first language. And so here I was, you know, at 5, 6, 7, and then definitely at 11 and on. I'm remembering that my mother, who I could barely understand because I couldn't speak Spanish, would ask me to translate and explain to her documents that were very, very important. They were, you know, medical documents, they were bank documents, things that had to do with her job, what kind of healthcare coverage she was going to choose, whether she was going to go into a retirement plan or not, how her retirement plan worked. I remember at the age of 11, shaking as I would phone an insurance company or someone else and pretending to be my mother, you know, because she said, tell them you're Anna, just go ahead, just say you're Anna, just don't, you know, just go ahead, ask them what I need to do to get this taken care of. And so, you know, that translation, and my mother was, you know, even though she was a monolingual Spanish speaker, she was a matriarch everywhere she went. And so it wasn't long before church members, co-workers would ask her like, hey, your daughter, Maria, who's so smart, because I was always a book nerd, always, you know, the geekiest one from my siblings, you know, they would say, why doesn't she go with me to court? I have a traffic court in North Carolina and Virginia. I remember going on trips with folks I barely knew to go translate for them. And, you know, the amount of responsibility was a lot. And, you know, growing up, I wasn't the most feminine child. And I remember rejecting and feeling horrible about all these responsibilities that were, you know, very matriarchal, including, you know, taking care of younger siblings, babysitting younger family members and things of that nature. But when you're conditioned from such a young age to have to take that initiative and responsibility, it's hard to get rid of it. It's hard to unlearn. And so I think I always had that energy and presence about myself. And I very much have seen that not just in my career, my education, but also in my relationships. You know, and so it's a whirlwind. It's a whirlwind, and it's undoubtedly based in the gendering of young women since they're little, and what that means in today's society, right? To be feminine.
Yeah, I would love for those who are in the chat to kind of share some of your thoughts on that, like these responsibilities that you have at an early age. That is what begins to shape those who then become mothers. And I think that depending on your family, depending on your experiences, it can vary, but what is pretty consistent is that there is definitely this unspoken expectation that you should just get over it, whatever you have decided to do or not decided to do, and that carries on into being a mother. We have something in the chat. Okay, thank you all for sharing. Yes, Sandra. So moving on, there's not only the unspoken job description that we discussed, but also how you respond as a child, right? And how you respond to challenges as children. Our responses also become the same responses that we have as adults, which also bleeds into how we mother, right? How we respond when we mother. There's such a connection between the two. So I know that you had mentioned, Maria, that for a lot of the women, young women in the families that you're around, the response to struggle and challenges is, it leads to overachievement, you mentioned. And then in all of our communities, a lot of us watch mothers and women work and set a tone for these expectations that, to your earlier point, Maria, is machine-like. So, and that causes us to watch the response to stress be more work. The response to stress as mothers, as women in the community, that response becomes an unhealthy response. Can you tell me a little bit more about this idea of responding with overachievement as young women, now that we're moving on from just being a young child, but as a young woman, how are you seeing these responses?
Yes, definitely. You know, and I've been lucky enough that I've gotten to serve in roles that are always, you know, serving of the Latinx community, even if it's a role that initially doesn't start off that way. I always gravitate to serving the Latinx community, whether that's higher education or the nonprofits that I've gotten to work in. And so, you know, our communities, you know, have been targeted for oppression. Like, there's just no doubt. We know the systemic issues. You know, there's a lot of amazing, incredible leaders who are disrupting white supremacy in many systems. And I shared, you know, in that conversation, some of the trauma from being an undocumented immigrant until I was 19. You know, and so some of that came with like not being able to even like seek the police when we were in danger, in physical danger. We couldn't call the police because we were afraid we were going to be deported. And I was a child, right? Not even knowing what that meant. But, you know, our communities are like BIPOC communities, Black, Indigenous, people of color, Latinx communities have experienced a lot of trauma. And it's understandable that we respond in different ways. And, you know, what I've seen sometimes is that some of our young men will respond in a way that, like, especially in the house I was growing up with, apathy was the form of trauma response for my brothers. And my mother definitely fostered that. You know, she would okay their apathy, she would enable it, she would promote it, she would serve them, and she still does to this day. You know, they're in their 20s to late 30s, and she still serves them and treats them like they're small children. But with the young women, you know, with me and my sister, it was like, you have to go do 10 times as much to have half as less. She would tell us that. You have to work 10 times as hard to have half as much as the person next to you. And so, you know, my sister and I both are the kind of people who have this industrial work complex wherever we go. And if we're not giving 110 and 120%, we feel like our value is not there sometimes. And I've had to really unpack that, and I've had to disrupt that with myself. And I'm not saying I was the perfect employee at every single job I've had. I think I've had plenty of moments where I learned a lot and became a better person. And I think I've done that at every single job. I've learned a lot and became a better person because of them. But the amount of overachievement and that trauma response, I see it so often with other young Latina women. we have discussions about educational attainment sometimes too in the Latinx community. Latinas are completing college rates at like 7 times what Latinos are doing it, right? The Latino men. And so then you have a household where a Latina might have like at least a bachelor's, if not a master's. And the man will sometimes have a high school diploma only in some college, right? And so that is becoming more frequent than not. And what happens is it becomes a bit of a culture clash, especially when you're coming from a culture that the man is supposed to win more, supposed to be the quote unquote breadwinner. And it feeds into a really interesting dynamic, especially when we know that women, in our modern day, like we won the right to be able to go to work, but when did we win like equity at home? Like when was that one? When was that civil rights to have home responsibilities done equitably? When has that been won? And when will that be won for BIPOC women or BIPOC mothers or BIPOC femme presenting folks? Like when is that going to be won? Because when you go home after whether it's 1 or 2 jobs, is there an equitable share in your household between you as a mother and your partner or not?
Yeah, and I am seeing the comments pop up based off of your comments. And I would agree that in many communities, there is a gap in response to trauma. And what I love that you did was you baselined it with trauma. And that, how did you disrupt the pattern for yourself?
I got to a point where I really dug deep, and this was in the nonprofit sector.
Okay.
And I realized that my identity, and I have disrupted like the mode of motherhood, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of disrupting the mode of motherhood in my career advancement. What I think I could have done differently, and what I really realized, there was a time where I felt like a complete failure at one of the jobs I had, and it was, I had a senior position, and I examined over and over what I had done wrong. And I think that there was, and I had never experienced in my life feeling like I had failed at a job, and I had never experienced not getting along with a supervisor.
Yeah.
Like that had never happened to me. And I started digging deep, and I started realizing that like one of the biggest upsets, I think there was a lot of valid concerns that I had and a lot of valid lessons learned. But when I dug really deep, I realized that my whole identity, like the majority of the weight, was centered around productivity.
Now, let me pause you on that, because
Yeah.
that's big. I want to let that marinate. And I want to make sure that we understand that making your identity equivalent to how productive you are and the standards of your environment also bleeds into your perspective as a mother. So we went from child to as a young woman growing, and then now as a mother, you still are also bringing the survival versus self-care, right? Where it's the productivity, the checklist, right? Where caring for self is secondary. But I tell you, even as I looked at motherhood for myself, I did the same things. That you can look at all these pictures on social media, but I still struggled just like you. So even the imagery around motherhood can contradict the struggle that comes with it. So I think that when we look at movement work, it also includes the trauma that you talked about. And so what I learned is that I had to become more strategic about my mindset, right? And how I took care of myself. And that sounds like exactly what you did, but you first started with your mindset, right, Maria? I really want everyone to think about your mindset. What have you accepted as a mother in movement work? And I really want you to think what you have accepted. Like, have you accepted that there will be trauma? Okay, that may be a fact. right? Have you also accepted that your needs will be second? Or that if there are pains in your community, that you're just going to accept that you're going to feel it all, right? Sometimes we can reject some of these. And this is another aspect of what you were talking about, Maria, how you started changing your mindset around what you should accept, right? Like, am I not a true activist if I'm not suffering? And so should suffering be synonymous with that, especially as a mother? What are the implications? So there are all kinds of discussions that we have, but what I want to make sure everybody knows is that there's such damage and injury as we wrap up that we all respond, just like we talked about it. Maria, you were talking about the difference between some of the young men and young women in the Latinx community, which is similar to some of the trauma responses. But with damage, injury, or harm, our suggestion for moving forward as we close is that there's not only a micro response, which sometimes is pulling you away, right? Like you said, the apathy, let me just detach, or overproduction and burning yourself out. But what we would like you to do is to integrate on a regular basis, because we wake up the next day and there's a new damage and injury when you're doing movement work. It's integrate strategic self-care, right? Because there's multi-layered and repetitive damage and harm. And that multi-layered harm is really rooted in something that we have to be able to address if we're going to advocate. So identifying what you need and then sharing the load. Now, I have something exciting to share with everyone, because even though we have macro and micro barriers, your silence will not protect you, right? That's what Audre Lorde said. So we want you to continue to take care of yourself. And I'm going to tell you what Maria and I decided as we move on to our next performance. What we decided to do was come together, and for those mothers who are in movement work that are in more than one type of community who want to learn more about interrupting patterns and taking really good care of yourself, then what we want to do is invite you to a Mothers in Movement Self-Care Support Group. We both decided to lead a little heartwarming and soul nurturing self-care support group specifically for mothers in movement work. And I'm just going to share the date with you all. Spread the word. Go to womenofcolorinitiative.org to make sure that you can stay on the list, and it will be sent out for those who are registered on the Women of Color website, okay? But it's May 16th at 3 p.m. It will be virtual. Are you excited, Maria?
I'm so excited. I've been telling so many people about this.
Yeah, so we would spend more time kind of talking through strategies, but what we realized is we just wanted to share a taste of our experience and what we see. And then we wanted to continue the conversation and continue the support with a self-care support group meetup. So we hope that you go to the website. And now that we've dabbled a little bit in the idea of movement work and motherhood and just the nitty gritty, just kind of skim the surface, right, Maria, about the nitty gritty of it, we need our soul serenaded. We need a little bit of a salve, an artistic salve. So Iman, can you come on screen for us, please?
Yes.
Hi.
Hey.
Can you introduce our next serenading soul artist?
Yes. Natalie Fernandez, come on up and turn your screen on. Natalie, hello. So Natalie is our next performer for Soul Serenade, and she is, first of all, I think you are amazing singer, artist, and a lot of fun. We had a good time doing this, and actually, still don't see you yet. Are you up?
I'm right here.
I see
Right
you.
here.
Boom.
Going
She
through the
always
universe.
serving a look, always emoting. She said, I'm here to emote, to serve and emote, and that is what she does. Where are you from, Natalie, originally?
I was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, in Argentina, and then I was raised in Miami. And I just moved from New York over here like about almost 2 years now to LA. Yeah.
Beautiful. And what would you say one of your main goals as an artist is to do? What it to be, to do?
Wow. Okay. So my main goal as an artist, I think, wow, that's a beautiful question. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Because I know I said something about Mothers of the Movement, and you were like, "I'm all about the movement work," and so I know that's something that's that's close to you, dear to your heart.
Yeah, it's I think it's about knowing your platform and using it responsibly. You know, once you get past the ego and you get past the look at me, and you start realizing that you are creating memories and you're creating imprints in people's minds that stay forever. You start using the platform and the art and the fine arts and the creativity in a way that, you know, is responsible in the sense of understanding that you can help people evolve with this work. And as a mother of the movement, I feel like even though I don't have children myself, I have had many children in my life of people have come and gone that I've, you know, helped through their journey as well. And I just want to really quickly say thank you so much for having me, Women of Color Initiative. Thank you so much, Iman. Thank you so much, Anana. Thank you so much, everyone that has been like just a part of this. Carlos, thank you, because this has been a life-changing opportunity, and I really, really appreciate it. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome. We appreciate you, and we're gonna go to your performance next.
Hey.
Do it.
Hello, my name is Natalie Fernandez, also known as Diversity, Unity, Harmony. We want to thank so much the Women of Color Initiative for having us here for the Mothers of the Movement performance. With me, I have KC on guitar, and I've got Khalil on keyboard and track. I hope you enjoy this song. It's called Jump.
We lift up Here are just a few mothers who have used their artistic expression to pierce the consciousness of the world.
Yo sé que siento algo adentro, a feeling I can't describe. I'm waking up, levántenme, iluminar. See, I think we've all been sleeping, dreaming a made-up life. No sé quién soy, será el tiempo de despertar. Just release who you've been told to be and just be free. Ábrete, expándete and just release. As the time brings us much closer, we will seek and we will find the way to bond, to love, to be unified. Cómo escaparte, búscate y te encontrarás. En el amor sanamos todo, somos capaces. Ábrete, escápate, just release who you've been told to be and just be free. Ábrete, expándete and just release. Release who you've been told to be and just be free. Ábrete, expándete and just release. Quiet your mind now. Just be effortless
Can
Yes.
anybody please share your thoughts in the, first of all, you look phenomenal.
Thank you.
I'm just going to have to take a screenshot okay, and figure out how to duplicate at some point in my life. I'm just gonna let you know, and then I'm gonna do a selfie and send it to you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for like letting, you know, allowing artists like us, all of us, a platform to share during these uncertain times, and especially for Mother's Day specifically, because I feel like, you know, not only are we creating, but we're also, as a collective, we are right now literally creating a brand new way of expression, a brand new being, a brand new everything, right? And so I want to say thank you so much for letting us weirdos exist too, and giving us a platform. So thank you, Iman. Thank you. That was killer, by the way, Iman. Yes, edit.
Yeah.
We have a question from Erica. How can we support Natalie? Where can we purchase her music?
Thank you, Erica, so much. I'm on Spotify. I'm on YouTube. I'm on everything. If you want, I always send everybody to my Instagram because that's where I am most of the time. Diversity.unity.harmony. I'm changing my artist name to that actually, because I want to put those words into people's mouths. And so I want them to constantly be like, did you hear Diversity song? Did you hear? It's Diversity, Unity, Harmony. Like, hey, wait, that says duh. And they're like, oh, you know, the little things.
Well, I do want to say, and then Iman, I definitely want you to share, but I do want to say, you use the word weirdos, and I love how you are claiming it to kind of just bring a lot of positive energy around those who may feel, you know, like they're ostracized. I just want to add that you are also normalizing what it looks like to, in a healthy way, channel the beauty of music and the arts and culture as a way to really take care of ourselves and take care of our souls. And so I think that it should become more abnormal to not do what you're doing, to not serenade and sing and tap into, you know, who we really are and what we really need. So Iman, did you want to share anything?
No, I mean, it was just a pleasure. It was so much fun. And one of the cool, funny things, as my dog is sneezing in the background.
Bless you, little dog.
Like, Norma, chill
or
out.
Norma. Is that
It's
Norma?
Norma, yeah.
Bless you, Norma.
Yeah, Norma. But I think it was really cool to reach out to you. And like, I know we've been starving as even performers during COVID, like without having any live shows. I mean, that's like our medicine and our healing. And when I hit you, you were like, yes, I got outfits. Let's do this. So it's like, you know, but that's how I feel too. It's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's get up together and sing. So I appreciate you so much.
It's beautiful. And let me let you know, Sandra, Natalie says that, yes, Anana, she is normalizing something beautiful. So I want to make sure I uplift that statement. Okay.
Thank you.
So I want to say thank you again, but we have another little special performance. Iman, can you tell us a little bit about this next treat that we have coming? Mother Save Earth.
Yeah, I'm gonna sing, and one of the first songs that I sing is a song, it's Blackbird, which is a Beatles record. And first of all, I want to raise my mom up. She is in here. She's in the room. I want to say happy pre-Mother's Day to her. She means the world to me. And she's the one who said, did you know that Blackbird was actually inspired by the in the 60s Black Civil Rights movement? And he was actually writing as a metaphor for black women who were going through their trials and struggles during the 60s. And so I sing Blackbird. And then we highlight some environmental activists, and then I sing one more song, and then we do that. Let's do what we do.
Awesome. And after that, we still are going to get some beautiful, beautiful tunes from Mad. So I'm very excited about that as well. And don't go anywhere, because We still want to hear from you all. We're going to have the wonderful, beautiful, powerful Rashida join us to talk to you a little bit about how you can continue to empower these types of healthy and loving and caring events, okay? So, Iman.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were always waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life, you were always waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the night of the dark black sky. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the night of the dark black sky. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. Fly all your life. You were always waiting for this moment to arise. Oh, yeah, you were always waiting for this moment to arise. Oh, you were always waiting for this moment to arise. We applaud all of the mothers who have dedicated their lives to preserving our Supreme Mother, Mother Earth. Here are a few mothers who have committed their lives to environmental issues, from clean water to reversing the devastating impact of human interference on our ecosystems. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, oh, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, singing, how do you do? But they're really saying, I love you. I hear babies crying, and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. We would like to thank all of the mothers that have inspired us and nurtured us into being our better selves, our greatest selves, and into changing the world. So I want everyone to come in here and sing a little la la for me right now. Let's start it out. Come on, y'all. La la.
Absolutely beautiful. Your voice. I want everybody to allow all of those notes, all of that serenading that Iman just shared with us to sink into your bones. Let it marinate. Sometimes we rush past these really beautiful moments. Iman, thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
While it sinks in, we're gonna have Hershita join us from Pro Georgia, Women of Color Initiative. She has a little something to share. Hershita Patel, can you come on screen and tell everybody what you have? Hi.
Hi everyone. Sorry, my lighting is going crazy right now, but I am so happy to be here with you all tonight. Can we just take a second to really appreciate what a wonderful event this is? We've got music serenading our souls, we've got dance, and we've got all of these wonderful folks in the movement coming, sharing their personal experiences of mothering in the movement, and making sure we have space for all of us who are trying to do this work collectively and making sure that we are doing that in a way that uplifts us all. I think that's truly beautiful. And I'm so thankful for this space and all the space that the Women of Color Initiative holds for us all the time to be our full, true, authentic selves through the Soul Serenades and through all of our programming. And if you, like me, are also appreciative of this information, of these spaces, we would definitely love to hear from you. We very much value the feedback of the folks that, that we do this programming for, and for other people who are in this coalition, in this movement with us. So there is a evaluation link that will be shared on the screen in just a second. It's very short, I promise. I know folks are tired of answering questions and filling out surveys and looking at screens, but I promise we made this one short. And it's really just to hear some more of your feedback about how we can continue to bring you great programming like the Soul Serenades, and what you learned today and what conversations you'd like to continue, and what we can do to continue to, create this beautiful space. And I'm throwing it back to you, Anana.
Thank you so much. While you all are able to get that information, I want to make sure that I take 5 seconds and acknowledge my mother, who is Kathleen Asata Albert. Go ahead and see if you can grab that image with your phone really quickly, and also grab that link. It's already in the chat. If you can just click on it, it's not a lot of questions at all, but this is the way we practice sharing our voices with each other. So while you are completing that, let me also remind you that if you go to the womenofcolorinitiative.org website and you click on contact, that is where you can make sure that you stay connected with us. So not just for the Mothers of Movement support group that we're going to have on the 16th, but for many other activities and for the outcomes of surveys like what Harshita just shared with us. So please click on the link for us. And what I want to do is, can I share my screen when you're finished? But I also want to acknowledge all of our artists. But right now, Mad is going to give us some beautiful music so that you all can complete the survey. Are you all ready? Are you ready to do that? Awesome. Okay, here is my mama. Her name is Kathleen Asata Albert. She did quite a few things while attending Southern University and taught dance in the community as a form of self-care for herself and everyone else. And here is also the location where you can go on the website, you click on contact, and that's how you stay connected with all of us, okay? We want to invite you to more wonderful events. We definitely want to thank everyone. If we can have all of our artists turn on their cameras so we can see it. Woo! Natalie, Iman, Deja. Also Michelle, we still want to make sure our Valiant awardees that you are acknowledged. Mad, if we can have you on camera as well. Thank you all so much. Maria, thank you all so much. Maria, thank you for presenting with me. Thank you for sharing important information where we see where we're similar within the women of color. Look at all these faces. Everybody do a little dance, 5 seconds. Thank you. Okay, so I hope during our little 2-step that you all have completed the survey. And Iman, did you want to share anything before we begin to close out?
No, I mean, I just want to thank everyone who was involved, especially, I mean, all the artists who came through and delivered and poured love and heart into this whole entire program. Thank you, Anana, Sandra, Tanya, Regina. If I left out somebody, let me know. I'm sorry. But I love you all, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Okay, now, thank you, Iman. Matt, I would love for you please to unmute. And you have gotten an opportunity to not just carry us through connecting the dots and threading the event together, but you've been absorbing the entire time, right? So if you could squeeze out some of your thoughts, some closing thoughts, we would love to hear from you.
Well, first of all, thanks again for having me. I am so grateful to be a part of this. I mean, it's just great. But yeah, I think more than anything, there was something that Maria said in regards to women just being on, you know, the same level and things of that nature. But I don't know, I feel like I'm like a sponge whenever I sit here with you guys, and I'm never the best at like fully articulating my feelings all the time, but just let it be known that I am a sponge.
We felt it.
Yeah, you know, I just feel like it takes me a couple of days, even just like in general life, to just take things in, let it settle. And
well, you know, Matt, I want to say, and Tanya shared this, that you also are very, very expressive through music.
Yes.
And the way that you have really kind of carried these events, it's been so, so important because we've needed that kind of ointment throughout the process of even sharing this type of information. So we really, really appreciate it. And another congratulations to Michelle Zuluaga. Come on, team. That's right. I got it. And
you got it.
Unmute. If you want to share anything, we really appreciate your organizing work and everything that you're doing to civically engage. It's such a big deal. Thank you. Cheryl also is pointing out, because that is super important. Thank you, Pro Georgia, and everything. Hershita for the survey. Thank you. Listen. I think that's time. I think that's it for us. Everybody hug yourself. Make sure you hug a mom. Make sure that you send some good energy out, even to the way you have mothered and nurtured others. And
Anana, may I say something super quick?
Yes, go ahead.
Well, let me say, first of all, it's been such an honor to share this space with such amazing leaders. First and foremost, I do want to highlight, and every time I have the opportunity to, I do so. Maria, at the beginning, when I first graduated college, we went to college during the same time. So, you know, she has been a very valid or a very valuable person for me, because when I asked her for help to connect me with people, to get a job, to get an internship, to get some experience out in the field, Maria never thought twice. And she always gave me that opportunity. And I am here today accepting, you know, being in this space, accepting this award and doing the work that I do. And I feel that I owe that a lot to Maria. And I wanted to highlight that, because on the top, that she is an amazing mother, and she is an amazing person, and a person that does amazing work. She also does a lot for future leaders, and when she sees talent, she takes the time to really highlight that and give them the opportunities. So I just wanted to say that Maria is amazing, and thank you so much for this space.
Oh, thank you. I'm really glad you shared that. That's so important. Well, everybody, I hope that you choose time to nourish yourself, right? That's with good people, good energy. just nourish yourself, good environment. I want you to please understand, just do your best. Anything beyond that stresses your organs, stresses your world. Just do your best. In gratitude, we say thank you for you. And really, I want you to release the rest, because that's all that you can bring, and we appreciate it. No machine activity, right, Maria? Have a great night, everybody. Let's dance our way out.
Mother's Day, Graham. Just in case, Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
I couldn't end this without playing one of my own songs. And of course, we had to bring back Little Dog. Do you have anything to say? You know the vibes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Caught up in the everyday, just trying to find your own way, looking for a new escape, but it all feels the same. We keep making the same mistakes. There's always a price to pay, the fear of unknown. Mother Nature, she's always right, so why do we fuss and fight?
We have a singer here. What are we doing?
Keep pushing, baby. We're gonna make it. Gonna get right. Don't you go crazy. We got this, baby. Gonna get right. Another day, another week, stuck in our same routines of watching history repeat. Have we finally reached a peak? We keep making the same mistakes. There's always a price to pay, the fear of unknown. Mother Nature, she's always right, so why do we fuss and fight to get what we want? Keep pushing, baby. We're gonna make it, gonna get right.
I hope you guys had a great night. I know I did.
Don't you go crazy.
Yeah.
We got this, baby.
Shout out to the Women of Color Initiative. What we doing? Bye, y'all.
Everybody, June 10.
Yay!
Hi. I still see we have people in the room. We are so glad you were here. June 10th, 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 June 10th. Don't make me go old school over here.
Oh, snap.
I will. June 10th. Make sure you go to womenofcolorinitiative.org. Matt, that was a really hot. We're gonna make it. Hold on now. You don't want me to sing.
Thank you.
Everyone will leave immediately.
That was killing. So good.
Yes. Oh, people still hanging around. Oh, hi, everybody. Hi, Carlos. Hi. Hi, Stella.
Guys, Stella's my mom, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Mama.
Oh, and that's our Regina. Guys, great show.
Yeah.
Another one down.
Another one down. It was great.
That was good.
Very beautiful.
Yes.
Very healing, I thought. Very
Mhm.
healing.
Mm-hmm. Now, Nelly, what you got? What?
Now we got
Okay.
new. We got just new clips.
No, I took off my gems. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I'm
I love
So-
it.
off the clock now, so
Off the clock, look. That's your
I'm
happy
trying
hour.
to dissimulate because I know we're still recording and I don't want to break the illusion.
Oh, okay.
I found this wig. This